I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
Absolutely
right.
not. That's true.
There's a lot going on this Monday morning.
That would be Donald Trump's very upset that the Pope actually reads the Bible and the Gospel, and he actually quotes the Gospel and he quotes the Bible. Blessed are the peacemakers. And Mika, that doesn't even get to what the president last night posted a picture of himself. Posted a picture of himself.
Yeah, that was in response.
An AI picture is Jesus Christ healing people, and it just, I don't know, just the Baptist in me reminded me of what Jesus said. Many believers will fall away and betray one another and hate one another. And false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. That wasn't the Pope. That actually was Jesus, who also said, blessed are the peacemakers, blessed are the meek, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for. We'll go through the whole thing down the road.
Moments ago, Pope Leo responded on a flight to Algeria, telling reporters, quote, I have no fear of the Trump administration, or speaking out loudly of the message of the gospel, which is what I believe I am here to do.
The gospel will be around much longer than any politician.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Monday, April 13th, and we have so much to get to this morning. With us, we have the co-host of our 9 a.m. hour, staff writer at The Atlantic, Jonathan Lemire. President Emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations, Richard Haass, is with us. Editor at The Insider, Michael Weiss, joins us once again. And columnist and associate editor at The Washington Post, David Ignatius is here.
David Ignatius, and I just want to talk about this briefly because we have so much news to cover. You almost wonder if Donald Trump posting a picture of himself as Jesus is to distract from all the terrible news that happened for the administration yesterday. But I do want to just put this in perspective. A week ago, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, promised mass genocide as a negotiating tactic, promised mass genocide against an entire civilization. This week, he portrays himself as Jesus Christ while viciously attacking the Pope. That's a rough week or so, and raises many, at least I think to me and many people in Washington, many disturbing questions.
So, Joe, like you, I found the self-iconography in the image of himself as the healing Jesus figure profane. That's the only way to put it. It just, the minute I saw it, I was troubled by it. At a time when he's picking a fight with Pope Leo, he's already gone after the Ayatollah. Maybe he's trying to be broader in his attacks on religious leaders. But it's just disturbing. You can't help but wonder what many Christians who've seen Donald Trump as an embodiment of their faith and beliefs think when they see this kind of imagery. But it's of a piece with somebody who's now self-memorializing, putting out memes of himself as a warrior, king, a Viking, Star Wars figure. Go down the list. And this latest one is especially disturbing. I wonder, Joe, isn't there anybody in the White House who looks at these things and says, Mr. President, I'm not sure you ought to put that one out? Clearly not.
Obviously not, because people love to say, oh, he was just joking, you don't get the joke. I can tell you for evangelicals, unless they want to completely turn their back on everything that they were raised on, we'll look at that as blasphemous.
Yeah, so aside from profane, unhinged posts that Republicans seem to just turn away from and cower from, we do have major